This is Borehamwood, Hertfordshire, England. Noted for its fine retail emporiums, varied cuisine, and motion picture pre-production facilities. But though it is justly famous for these attractions, Borehamwood is even more renowned as the capital of British benchwatching. Lieutenant Charles Albert Worthington Cratchit is generally recognised as the father of British benchwatching. He became interested in benchwatching while he was in India and studied under several gurus there. On his return to Borehamwood in 1911, he founded the British Benchwatching Committee to promote benchwatching in this country. Jeremy Scropes has been a member of the British Benchwatching Committee, otherwise known as the BBC, for 10 years.
I used to be one of the resident train spotters at Crewe Station, but I had to give that up when it became too hectic for me.
And how did you become involved in benchwatching?
Well, I borrowed Lieutenant Worthington Cratchit's Benches, A Westerner's Perspective from the library, and was, as they say, hooked. I have watched this bench, twice a week for the past 3 years, and during that time I have noted 2,172 people sit on it, although at least 500 of those people have visited it more than once, which does tend to distort the figures. Mavis Sandalgrigg was sitting on this bench in the summer of 1934, when she was kissed for the very first time. This bench is made out of wood salvaged from a shipwreck on Aldenham Reservoir. Worthington Cratchit tells us of a novice bench watcher he overheard in India. The novice asks his guru, "Master, which aspect of the bench is most beautiful in the eyes of God? The back? The front? One side? The other?" The guru replied, "All of them. For if any aspect were removed, the bench would be a bench no longer." The guru arranged for the novice to be reincarnated as a bench, the better to appreciate this precept. What the lieutenant is trying to say is that you can't watch a little bit of the bench at a time. You'll never be a proper bench watcher that way. You have to watch all of it, all at the same time. In fact, I've begun to go further than that.
Oh, really? And how can you watch all of the bench at once when you're actually sitting on it?
I'm not just watching the bench. I'm watching the bench and its surroundings. But my thoughts are troubled. I can't help but wonder whether the view would be more beautiful if I was sitting at the other end of the bench.
Clearly this is radical stuff. Indeed, some members of the British Benchwatching Committee have already described Jeremy as a dangerous heretic. We attempted to interview some of them for this programme, but they were too deeply engrossed watching the bench, the whole bench, and nothing but the bench.
They're just jealous because they didn't think of it first.
So instead we spoke to Major Domo Luciano Fatang Oregano, President of the BBC. Major Domo Oregano, would you agree with those in your organisation who described Jeremy Scropes as a dangerous heretic? Not at all. Young Scropes has done a great deal for the committee over the years, and I always look forward to his Bench of the Month column in our magazine Benchmark, on sale from all good newsagents, priced £12.50 an issue. He probably deserves to sit down for a while after all the hard work he's done. Would you say he was insane then? No doubt about it, he's stark staring bonkers. What sane fellow would stand around looking at a Bally Park bench for 5 hours at a time, eh? Moo! Oh, it's you again. There are a million tales in the naked city, and this has been just one of them. Good night, and remember, serious bench watching is a rare occurrence. Sleep well.